Let me then take you to a different stereotype, something which is not a gender-based stereotype, but more of a question where companies ask, you are the only child of your parents, and would your parents be comfortable for enough to let you go and work elsewhere? Because most of these MNCs, etc., require you to travel and possibly be out of your comfort place as well.
Right.
So such kind of questions, how should we be dealing them?
Let me put it this way. What are the answers I would not encourage them to say? I would not encourage them to say the fact that, look, my father is retired. When I employ elsewhere, my father will move along with me, or my parents will move. Now, it's a good answer. It's a practical answer. It's a possible answer. But it shows a link with the parents. It shows the dependency with the parents. Now, there's no reason for you to talk it so much. My suggestion would be, give them the confidence that you come from a family where your parents understand your aspirations. They are independent enough to live separately and allowing me to live separately. And distances don't break hearts these days. So the fact of the matter is, you need to give the comfort, the only child needs to give the comfort to the parent, that to the company, that parents are okay and I am also okay. Now, this can also be strengthened if something of that nature has happened in the past. For example, I have a lot of students who are the only child and they are already staying in a hostel. Now, the parents are elsewhere, the child is doing engineering or degree in another place, staying in a hostel. So, I can use that precedence to strengthen my case. I can tell the company the fact that, look, for the last 4 years, I have been staying away from the family and my family is okay with it. I am okay with it. So, I don't see any reason why in the future I can't do that. So, yes, you need to look into yourself and your own story to see if there is something that you can bring forward which will strengthen the case. Now, if you are not been staying in a hostel, you have been staying with the parents, then probably you can cite certain examples where you have, taken some time to move out on your own. If parents have not hesitated then, why would they hesitate now? Let's not forget, thanks to the technological developments that are happening, thanks to the speed of travel that's increasing in an exponential rate, the world is only shrinking. So today I don't think parents have much of a hesitation.
Now, this question becomes a little more complex when we are referring to a single parent,
right?
A single parent raising a son, a kid, a son or a girl. Now, in such case, it becomes a little more emotional bondage comes into picture. So, how should a student handle? So, a student who is possibly a child of a single parent.
I do agree to the fact that it's a emotional issue, but frankly, in the interview for me, it's not very different from any other. I would have highlighted the fact that my parents do give me freedom to be what I am. Now, in case it so happens that my parents are separated, or the fact that I have lost one of my two parents, then I still am a child to them, but a professional to the company. So, what is that I will be telling the company? I will be telling the company that the company will, my parents will be giving me the freedom to move. So, that is what I am going to reiterate anyway.
Now, if in case the particular student happens to be the only son of a businessman and the father is looking forward for his son to possibly become the next the hire of their business empire, how should the student take this kind of question? Because the company always has this doubt in their mind, will the student really join me, because tomorrow the father might, after 2 years of working, might pull out the student to their own business. So in such kind of complex case, how should the student deal with such kind of questions?
I think I'll go back to what I said earlier. As much as for a lady, there's a pressure both from her own side as well as the society and the family side. Here we are talking about a similar case for a son who is the only son of a successful parents, who is a businessman. Now, after 2 to 3 years, frankly, company will not mind. The thing that company will always have a doubt is that even if the son is interested, will the parents allow? So, it's very important that if I had been the student, I would have said that it's not just my decision, my parents are supporting that. So, that second point also is equally important to break that stereotyping. So, I would have said that I am very much looking forward to be part of your company, and yes, my parent, my father, who is a successful businessman, agrees to the fact that I can take a path which is independent. So, I am going to tell the company that technology is where I am, while my father runs a business, but that's his business. It's not my business.
Fantastic. The rest of the story remains the same. The last kind of stereotyping which I generally encounter, students sharing with me is more on the background. For example, is a student who comes from Vijayawada. It's possibly not the tier 1 city. Then he is expected to shift out to metros. The doubt a company always has in mind is that would this student adjust? Because right from his childhood, he would have been possibly raised in the same place, a place which was not been exposed to a lot of other cosmopolitan aspects. So, in such kind of situation, how should a student present himself or herself as a person who is willing to possibly adjust to the requirements of the organization?
Again, it's only a stereotyping. It's not that people who come from smaller places have not been able to adjust in a bigger place. Nevertheless, it is a responsibility of the person who is giving the interview to give the confidence. So I can give a couple of answers. It's a fact that I have never stayed in a big place, but I do come from a college where I have people from various other states and cities, big cities, who are working together. So there is an element of cosmopolitan nature that exists in the college. So I'm quite comfortable interacting with them. So I'm confident that I'll be able to do the same thing when tomorrow I'm put in a big place. Now, here what am I doing? I am linking with my college, which has a cosmopolitan nature. Otherwise, I can even bring another perspective altogether. I've never actually moved out of the small place, that's a fact. But that's more because of my father's nature of job. I've always wanted to travel, I've always wanted to meet people, and given a choice, I would have always wanted to be in a big place. So I'm looking forward to be a part of a company and having a career in a big metropolitan place like Bangalore or Chennai. Now, by doing so, yes, I'm not basing it out on any facts, but I'm expressing my interest in doing so. And if I do come out like a person who is extrovert, I come out as a person who has a friendly smile in the interview, the believability of my answer actually goes up. So it's very important that whatever story you are highlighting, either it's linked to the past to create the credibility, or linked to the image that I am making in the interview. If I am shy, I am reserved, and I say this, that answer might not work. So obviously that is not a good answer for me then. So at the end of the day, whatever we say, yes, we need to learn to break the stereotyping rule, but it should be broken in such a way that the company believes what I say. And that is what is the power of giving the right answer.
Thank you, Mr. Abdullah. Once again, going back to the statement made by Mr. Abdullah, he says stereotyping exists. It is our responsibility to break that stereotype and give the confidence to the company that we are people who are willing to change, and we are people who are actually having the maturity to understand this kind of stereotypes. Once again, if you have any further doubts or queries, you can always post them to support@corner.com or on our doubt clarification mechanism, and Mr. Abdullah will definitely answer those queries. Thanks a lot for your time, and once again, I'll see you with a different video. Bye-bye.